If I had one thing to share with people in 20 seconds or less, it's that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are people. They see the world differently, they may process differently, but they have every bit as much capacity as anybody else to change the world around them.
When I stepped in the doors of the ARC many years ago, I didn't even know what services were for a person like Jake. I had no idea what that looked like, how to get them, how long it would take to get them, and how to build them once I received them. The ARC helped me figure that out. Jake went from being a person that couldn't even make a peanut butter sandwich while living in my home to today being a person that lives on his own in an apartment across the street from my house with very little support. He has the support of waiver services, a term I had not heard of before the ARC introduced it to me. And I can honestly say that the services he has received have changed not only his life, but the life of my husband, of me, and of my children.
There are a lot of resources and capacity out there to provide services and support, but if you don't know where they are and know how to find them, it can be daunting. Our resource advocates, their role is to help you find and to connect you with the services that may be out there and to know how to navigate a system when you have an intellectual or developmental disability.
And once I got my bearings and I figured out what the possibility is for the Jakes of the world, I began to work for them. And then I realized that I had a career and a future in advocacy, and it has led me to where I am today. And I could not be prouder to work for an organization that lines up so perfectly with my personal values.
We do guardianship services. Our role when there is no family or a loved one close by that can provide that support and helping with decision making, we are a corporate guardian appointed by the state and by the courts. Part of that is to help people not only make their decisions and placing them in homes, but it's also restoring their rights. Oftentimes people have had their rights taken away to make those decisions, and they're perfectly capable of making choices.
Ethan is my joy.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Can I smack you on the head? Yeah, is that funny? I got involved with the ARC of Wake County when he was first diagnosed. My husband and I had no idea what journey we were headed on with this little boy. And I spoke to someone at the ARC and unfortunately never got her name, never got to say thank you, but she began pointing us in the right direction, where we needed to go to get services, early intervention, and eventually was asked to come volunteer with the organization. And after becoming incredibly involved, I'm right here, buddy. After getting incredibly involved as a volunteer, it eventually became a place where I was working as the interim executive director, and now working for the ARC of the Triangle as the executive director, and have parlayed this little boy's journey into a fascinating career. Working for the ARC is a privilege that I have as the mother of a child with special needs.
Over the years we have developed chapters. We have a number of local chapters across the state, some in large areas and some, and each one is very different, very unique. Some chapters provide direct services, some of them just do advocacy. They teach people how to communicate and to share their stories. But every one of them is dedicated to meeting the needs of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
It's not about tolerance, it's about inclusion. And it's about knowing that just because there is a diagnosis of something that makes my child different from his typical peers, he's still just a kid. He's still just a stinky teenager and wants to be treated like a stinky teenager. Right? Yeah.
Across the course of a lifetime, the ARC is there. We are there in good times, we are there in times of crisis, and we walk with a family or the self-advocate throughout the course of their journey. They don't just come, use us, and leave. They become a part of us, and we like to think that we become a part of their families as well.
I wish everyone just knew that a call to the ARC of the Triangle or the ARC of North Carolina is a great place to start. because we will make sure that families are supported in lots of different ways. Not just education, not just employment, not just individual services, but that we see the whole picture.
We represent a group of people who often do not feel like they have a voice. And it is up to us to help advocate and speak for them when nobody else can.
We impact people's lives, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, but that's the work that we do. That is why we are, is to help people find opportunities to live, work, learn, and play wherever they choose.